Assalamu alaikum everyone, and on behalf of AMP, I would like to welcome everyone to this very interesting and very important session, which is a AMP KSA Web Talk series. Topic is DBA. So, before we go into the topic, I'll just try to have few minutes from you so that I can put forward few words about AMP. So, Association of Muslim Professional was formed back in 2009, 2010 by few of the individuals who were very concerned about the situation of Muslim community, which was affecting kind of overall progress of the country. So they came together and the organization was formed. Alhamdulillah, you may have seen in the beginning about the progress what AMP has done in last 10 to 12 years. And we have now almost more than 100 chapters. We have several international chapters. We are registered NGO in India. We are registered NGO in UK, USA, and in Australia. So the purpose of AMP is to give a platform to Indian Muslim professionals, especially. But it is not only it's not particularly a Muslim organization. We welcome everyone to come on board and work towards the goal what AMP has. So it gives a platform where we can come and share our knowledge and intellect. So for the betterment of Muslim community and nation in general. So it's a platform where everyone is welcome. So to share his skills, his knowledge, his intellect, and we can that helps in the overall achievement of the goal which AMP has. It is based in Mumbai, but we have several chapters and we have several thousand people connected with us. We have a lot of NRI people who are connected with us. We have launched several path-breaking initiatives such as IndiaZakat.com, which is the first zakat platform which is on a crowdfunding basis. We have closed several cases, several very important cases related to which were helped with the IndiaZakat.com. We have launched IndiaMentors.com, which will provide mentorship to our students, to young professionals, and also several other initiatives. So this is in a nutshell. AMP is very dynamic, very interactive, and very engaging platform for all the individual who want to contribute to the progress of nation, to the progress of underprivileged, and to the minorities. They are all welcome to work with us. If you want to work with us, please go visit www.ampindia.org and register yourself as a volunteer. Or if you are in the event through anybody else, you can contact them so that you can participate and engage in the AMP activities. So with this, I give back to Jamil Bhai so that we can go on with the session. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam. Thank you so much, Habib Bhai, for such nice brief introduction of the AMP. And whoever want to join the AMP, Habib Bhai has given the website, and even we will share in the email if you require. Okay, and please join the AMP and work together. So our next part of the session is the database administration session. For that, we have Mr. Shakil Sheikh, and we feel honored to have Mr. Shakil with us for training on this web series. Mr. Shakil, let me give some brief introduction about the Shakil, Mr. Shakil, who is master in computer application from Mumbai University and having decades of IT experience in the same as a database administrator. He served many multinational companies and working overseas and having overseas experience as well. So for today's session, he will be with us for 1 hour 20-30 minutes around, and then later on we will have our Q&A session. So now I would like to thank everyone for your time to join with us, and for all I would advise you to keep pen and copy with you, and whatever your query, write in the chat box. Either we will take your query in the session or we will reply over your email. Thank you so much for everyone. Now I am handing over the mic to Mr. Shakil Sheikh. Shakil bhai, please.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad Shakil, the Oracle database. Now I'm going to tell you regarding the Oracle architecture. Let me share my screen first, and then also I guess who all guys who has joined the last session of SQL and Unix. In the last session, I have explained them about the three-tier architectures with taking some examples like yatra.com for logins, and I just also shown them about the SQL, basic SQL and basic Unix. The main thing for me to go for the basic, because these all things are going to be used in the Oracle DBA parts, because means now in the next lectures, if you will see that in the basic I have also tell you about the DML, DDL and TCL in the earlier lectures. These all things now we are now in the today's session we are going to be taking Oracle architectures, table space management and user management. So in the user management, if you see that we are going to use all basics which I have taught you on the last sessions. So let's begin with the sessions. So for the today's sessions, we are going to start with Oracle architecture. Hope everyone is clear with the last session which I have taken three-tier architectures, basic SQL and basic Unix. Why I taught you a basic Unix? Because the database is resided on the server, so you need to know some basic knowledge about the Unix also. So exploring our chapter with the database architecture. Basically, the database architecture is a consist of three tier means structures you can consider. Three in that it can be a process structure, memory structures, and the database structures. So you can see here this all the above. The cursor I'm moving for you all. The above SMON, PMON, RICO, and all other that all are the process structures. So the Oracle architectures are basically are the three major structures they have defined. They have derived with the three major structures. First is memory structures, process structures, and the storage structures. Now I will tell you the brief about what is the memory structure, what is the process structure, and what is the storage structure. So in the memory structure, it's come as an means your SGA. First of all, let me tell you about the instance. You can see here that instance is written in the database. All the data which we are going to be stored, it's stored in the database, which call as instance. So instance is nothing but SGA plus background process. What is SGA? SGA is our memory structure, which I have told you right now. The three major structures in Oracle database architecture is memory structure, process structure, and storage structure. So what is a process structure? This above the round one, which is you can see the round one above and the below. These all are my process. See in the Oracle means in the daily day-to-day life also, whatever things you are going to be do means there might be something means had to be interactive. So same in the Oracle means all the things can be done by the process. So the Oracle engines like this that can be done by the process. So that all process are what? These all SMON, PMON, RICO, DB writer, checkpoint, log writer, and archiver. The another structure was memory structure. So in the memory structure it came as SGA. Inside the SGA, what is buffer cache, Redolog buffer, shared pool, inside the shared pool, library cache, database dictionary cache. And the last which I have tell you about the storage structure. So what come under the storage structure? It's a data file, control file, online Redolog file. There one more file is called parameter files, which also there in the storage structures. So I will tell you why this all component used in the database and what are the basic idea behind this database. See, if hope you understand what are the three major structures in the Oracle database architecture. I will repeat for you all: memory structures, storage structure, and process structure. So in the storage structure, data file, control file, online Redolog file. Storage means where the actual data is to be reside, where the actual data is to be there. So that comes under the storage structures. Memory structures, SGA. Inside the SGA there was buffer cache, redo-log buffer, and shade pool. And what about the process structure? For the process structure, SMON, PMON, DB writer, log writer, and checkpoint. See, there are the many other processes also there. You can see there RICO and archival. But if I will just also teach you some type of interview questions also. Means someone asks you that what are the 5 mandatory background process. So you need to tell that 5 mandatory background processes: SMON, PMON, DB writer, checkpoint, and log writer. See here, I'm just moving a cursor to you all. SMON, PMON, DB writer, checkpoint, and log writer. These are the 5 mandatory background process of the Oracle architecture. There are the other also process are there which is going to be work like RICO, RICO, archiver, and MMN, and there are many other process. Now let me tell you about the actual work of the database. See, whenever I was already in the last session, I have given you the example of three-tier architecture. Three-tier architecture, what I have tell you there are some end users and the application and the database. End user is what? End user is nothing but we all who is logging to the applications and booking our tickets for going in XYZ places from any of the websites. So that was an end user, and then the application is the website which we are using. That was application, and the data which is the information which they have picking up and giving to you, that was a database. Same. So that was a three-tier architecture. Now we will go in deep how the connectivity to the database is established. So the communications between the user and the instance is called a connections. So see, everything when you communicate, there might be some connections. Now we all are talking to each other. There is a connections. So same the connections between the user process and the instance is made by the listener and the TNS. See, if you see here the user here. Now in the you can consider the user is trying to connect to the applications. So when the user is trying to connect with the applications, one user process is aligned over there. First of all, when everybody when they are logging to the Facebook or Instagram or any of the website, they have their ID password. So now I will tell you how this architecture will work, how the all process is going to be work. Whenever you are going to logging to any of the database, this database first of all check that particular user is authenticate or not. Where he will going to check that user is authenticate or not, that details are stored in the dictionary cache. After when he find that the particular user is authenticate, that he can log into database, he has his ID password for this particular database, so he will log into the database. Now after logging to the database, what will going to be happen? One user process will be initiate on the user side and server process to be initiate on the server side where our actual database is there. When the user is going to search any of the data, you can consider that any of the clothing website, now you are searching some clothes for some festivals, and you click on something, but it's a user friendly for you, you're just clicking, but there is some background coding has been there. So when you are clicking, you are searching something, the background there was a select statement was running. So how that select statements will run and what are the basically things are going to be done on the back end, I will tell you. So when this particular user here search in any of the website, the select statements run this particular users wanted to search this. So that select statements, what that select statement will first do, first as an Oracle, it check the select statement syntax and semantic check. So what is the syntax and semantic check? In the syntax checks, if you will see that the particular select statement has a particular method, if you wanted to select any details from the employee, I will just show you the example so that it will be more clear for you all. So means in the SQL and in the Oracle, if you wanted to select any of the database, means you need to execute the command as select star from EMP, yeah, or employee. This is the basic means syntax for the Oracle. So see here it is what select star from employee. If I will put select instead of star, I will put from employee. I will not put a star. What it show? It will say missing expressions. Means your syntax is not proper. And now I will tell you about a next check which Oracle do. That was a semantic check. See, this is are the internal check is happening. There are a lot of process happening in the background where you can get a frictions of a second the details, but actual understanding you need to know how the architecture of the Oracle works. Because if you are going in the advanced level as a performance tuning for the Oracle database, and if you don't know the basic of the Oracle architecture, then it will be a very difficult for you all to do the performance tuning. See, in the real time in the industry also, people used to pick up the guy who knows the best in the performance tuning. What comes in the performance tuning? Performance tuning, it's come as like means it can be your reactive and proactive. Means if there is any issue comes in the database, how you react, or you know that particular issue is going to be come, how you proactively means work of that issues. So that all you will able to understand only when your basic database architecture is clear. So let me come into the point. So I have tell you when the particular user search in the website, the some background there was a select statement is going to be run. Okay, then that and that select statements Oracle will going to be check. That's SQL statements, syntax check and semantic check. Syntax checks I told you. If I miss select star from employee, if I miss star, that was a syntax. I miss from, that was a syntax. If I miss semicolon, that was a syntax. Now I will tell you what is semantic. Now I put select star from employee. Okay, select star from employee. See, semantic means table and view which I am using, that should be authentic table which is there in the database. That is called a semantic check. Means the object check, you can say objects. I have tell you in the last session what are the objects. Object means tables, triggers, index, synonyms. These all are the objects. So means if you have missed to type the particular proper objects, or if you have means not type the exact objects, then it will be give you error. So this was done by a semantic check. After checking the syntax and semantic, what is going to be happen? It is going to generate one hash value. Okay, it is going to generate one hash value after checking the syntax and semantic, and that hash value for a specific SQL statement is stored on library cache. You are seeing here in the shade pool there is a library cache and dictionary cache. So the SQL statement syntax and semantics check which is going to be happen for a specific SQL statement, that hash value is stored on library cache. Now you can think why the hash value is stored on this library cache. What is the basic idea behind storing the means hash value on the library cache? I will tell you why we are going to store this hash value on the library cache. Because if the particular user is going to search the same data or the same select statement, then the same select statement will not that Oracle engine will not going to do the syntax and semantic check of that SQL statement. Why? Because first of all, when you execute the select statement, we are going to check that particular select statement hash value is there in the library cache or not. If it is not there, then it will be go for a syntax check and semantic check. And if it syntax check and semantic check, and then it will generate the hash value and stored on the library cache. That is called a hard parsing. Hard parsing, if you will, means see why I am going to tell you about this performance tuning. These all are important. These are correlated, and if you need to understand. See, library cache, you have a hash value. So when the SQL statement syntax semantic check is going to be happen, it's called a hard parsing. Hard parsing. See, if something going to take a time for do syntax and semantic check, so it's not a good performance. If some SQL statement is going to take a time for do the syntax check and semantic check, means it's not a means a performance wise good. So to do better performance, you store the hash value of that particular means a statement. After storing that hash value on the library cache, when the user is means asking for the same select statement, that select statement will not go for the syntax check and semantic check. If you will not go for syntax check and semantic check, then it goes, and then it can call as soft parsing. I just request you all just note it down. What are the keywords I am telling you? Soft parsing, hard parsing. These are very important terms. Like in the Oracle, soft parsing and hard parsing. Hard parsings whose syntax and semantics checks is going to be happen is called a hard parsing. After syntax and semantics check, that SQL statement hash value is stored on the library cache. When the users are searching with the same select statement on the library cache and he found that hash value of the same select statement on the library cache, that call as a soft parsing. Hope you all understand what is a hard parsing and soft parsing. Now I will go further. After means this syntax semantics check for particular statement is completed, what next? Now he will go to search for the data. He will go to search for the data. Where he will going to search for the data? First he will go to search for the data on the SGA database buffer cache. SGA you can consider as a means in your computer RAM. You know RAM, random access memory. Why we say that if our computer have a more RAM, it will be a faster, because more data which we are accessing randomly, it's stored on the RAM. It don't need to be go inside the means hard disk and collect the data and give it to us. So same way means in Oracle SGA, the database cache, the block which is having, that is more faster than the block which we need to retrieve from the database. You can see here the database. So the first block, when we execute the select statement, the block he will search in the buffer cache. After searching the blocks in the buffer cache, if he will see if he will get that blocks on the buffer cache, then fine, he will give it to the particular users who is there in the who is there used to log into the website and is asking for the particular block. What the buffer cache do? It's hold the copy of a data block that are read from the data files. What I told you earlier, say I have given you the example of RAM. In the RAM, what data is there? Just see, I am giving you this whole example to make you understand. Actually means you can correlate it with this RAM to our database and means SGA, so that it will be more easier for you all. So see the SGA, what I told you, it hold the copy of the data blocks that are read from the data files. So where our data files are there? Data files, control files, and redo log files are there in our actual database. See here. Data files, control files, online redo log files, these are there in the actual database. I have told you about the database server structures, memory structures, process structure, and storage structure. What is there in the process structure? All process, DB writer, checkpoint, log writer, smon, pmon. These are the 5 mandatory background process. Rest are the optional. Storage, data files, control files, and online redo log files. So buffer cache hold the copy of the data blocks that are read from the data files, is shared by all concurrent users. What are the concurrent user? The user which are asking for the specific block. Now what if that particular blocks are not there in the buffer cache? Now in this time what will come? Now the DB writer will come into the picture. I have told you 5 mandatory background process: DB writer, log writer, checkpoints, SMON and PMON. Now I will tell you each and every process what they do. Now I will tell you about the database writer process. Database writer process write the modifieds, means you can in the Oracle terminology you can say dirty buffers, modified blocks in the database buffer cache to the disk. Okay, and it also what he does, every data file generates one SCN number. What is an SCN number? System change number. So now you can see asynchronized while performing the other processing and critically to the advanced checkpoints. Now you can see the checkpoints. I told you the checkpoints. Now we have a three data files, control files, and redo-log files. What are the actual things are there in this data files, control file, and redo-log files? Data files, we have actual data. Actual data is in the form of tables. Tables are stored in the table space. So actual data are there in the data files. Now why the Oracle has implemented control file? Control file is nothing like a brain of the database. I mean, it stored the informations about the data files, control files, and the database name. The control file store the information about the data files and the database name. See, in our database, if I have 10 data files, then that 10 data files information stored in the control file. So that's how this is happening. That now I have created the one more data files. Now my table database got full, and I'm going to be stored and going to be means add some data files on the database. So how the control file is able to know? Because of this checkpoint. This checkpoint generate a system generated means SCN number, system chain number. That system chain number he kept in the control file, update in the control file and the data files header. This is the work of the checkpoints. See, you can see the slides it was written as record the checkpoint information in the control files and each data file header. What records? SCN number. It's basically called a SCN number, system chain number. Each and every means data files has its own SCN number. That SCN number is stored on the control file and the data file header. Now we will go for the redo log means log writers. First we have a DB writer, log writer, then checkpoints, SMON and PMON. These are the process I am going one by one. So now the log writer. What the basically log writer do? It writes the redo log buffer to the redo log files on the disk. See, now what is actually there in the redo log files? In the redo log file, it is there a change data. Now my name in the database was there. How the consistency maintain in the database? There might be some mechanism to maintain a consistency. So to maintain the consistency, here come the redo log buffers into the picture. See, whatever the update we made in the database, like my name was Shakil. Now then I change it to Shabir. I'm just giving you the example. My name is Shakil. I have changed it to Shabir. So what was my earlier name? Shakil. I have changed it to Shabir. So my earlier name, now my change, that will be stored on the redo log buffers. So this all things are happening how? Redo log buffers right in the redo log files. This all data are there. So these data means these all are important. If you wanted to see, you can see there are the queries you need to execute to check your redo log files. See, in this my database, I have this all ready log files. See, I have a group 1, readlog group 1, 2, and 3. We have a 3 readlog files. See, now you can see, we check the control file, show parameter control. See, I have a 2 control file. Now I'm going to show you what is actually Can anyone from panelists tell me my voice is audible or not?
Yes, now it is audible, Sakil. Go ahead, please.
Or
Sakil, are you speaking as of now? Because we are again not able to hear you, and even your sharing is also gone. Shakil, are you able to hear us? Hello everyone, just please keep patience. Our trainer is facing some technical issue as of now. He's trying to reconnect. Just I got the update from him.
Hello.
Yes, Sakil.
Yeah, I thought
Sakil, still your voice is having some
I got
distortion.
disconnected.
Yes, now I can hear you. Can you please reshare your screen as well? Uh, Shakil, are you able to hear me? Then no, I Shakil.
I believe he's disconnected. Hello, Shakil.
Yeah, I guess there is some internet
Can
issue.
you share your screen and start now?
Yeah. Okay. So means I was explaining you about the DB writer, log writer, checkpoints, SMON and PMON. DB writer writes the dirty blocks from your
We are not able to see your screen. Could you please share it again?
yeah, sure. Now it's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I have told you about the means structures. First, when I start my chapters, I told you about the database memory structure. Database memory structures, the database server structure. Database server structures is derived into the three form: memory structure, process structure, and storage structures. I told you what is in the storage structure: data files, control files, and redo log file. In the data files, what is actual information stored in the data files in the form of tables, and the tables is stored on the table space. And what is there in the control file? In the control file, it is there your data file information. So how the data files and redo log file informations are stored in the control file? I have given you the practical example by creating a backup control files of my database, and open that control file and shown you what is actual there in the control files. In the control file, it is there database name, data files informations, how many data files I have there in the database, and the online redo log file informations. So that means you cannot means restore any of the database to any of the control files. The control file which is there on that database, the same control file will only work on that database, not a different, because that control file stored the information, database name, data files details, and the redo log file details. What is there in the online redo log file? I have told you, I have given my example, means all the pre-image data, means my name is Shakil, I have changed it to Shabir, though my older name is Shakil. Now, if anyone select my employee ID, you can take my employee ID as 1234, and my name is my employee name is Shakil. Now I have changed my employee name to Shabir. If anyone in the employee table going to search with the employee ID, select star from employee where condition employee ID 123. Now what he will going to get? Shabir, because I have changed my name from Shakil to Shabir. Okay. Now on the same employee table, if anybody wants to check the name of my tables, he will get the name as Shabir, because I have changed. But what about my older name? My older name is Shakil. So that should be kept somewhere, so that all pre-image information is stored on online redo log files. What happened if my online redo log got full? If my online redo log got full, then that another thing come to the picture called archive log files. All the redo which is got full, it's stored into the archive log. So these are the storage structures. I have told you about the database dbwriter, checkpoints, logwriter, smon, and pmon. dbwriter, what dbwriter do? See here in the process you can see dbwriter, checkpoint, logwriter, smon, and pmon. This archival process writes the data from redo log file to archive. I have told you, I have only in my practical example I have shown you, I have a 3 redo log groups: group 1, group 2, and group 3. In each group I have a 2 members. Okay, in each group I have a 2 members. What will happen after that group has been got full? See this, if all every time we are going to update all the change information stored on the online redo log files, then but obvious it will going to be get fulls. What will going to happen if it get fulls? You will lose the data? No, you have created an archive log in your database, that all informations which get full from the online redo log file, it's stored into the archive log with the help of archival process. Now why this dbwriter come into the picture and logwriter? To write the dirty blocks from database buffer to data files. See, this SGA also have some limits. You can see I just given you the example of the SGA as a RAM. I have only 8 GB RAM in my computer. Well, I going to store 10 GB data on the RAM? No. It will only keep that data which I am randomly which I am accessing frequently. That only stored on the means RAM. Same way in the SGA, the data which I am accessing more, it's stored on the database buffer cache. And the data which I am not using more, the help of algorithm called LRU and MRU. You can note it down these points. This is not there in this slide. LRU and MRU. What is LRU and what is MRU? LRU is nothing but least recently used, and MRU is most recently used. So the data blocks which is least recently used is flush out from the database buffer cache and put it on the database data files. Okay, hope this is clear for you all. Now how the data is write on the redo log files? It writes the data in the circular motions, round. It writes the data in the circular motions on the redo log files. See, you can see here. This is the redo log buffers. Let me show you the. Okay, I guess in this slide it is not there, but yeah, you can you can see after this session, the redo log buffers has writes the data on the circular motions. How it writes? See, this is also a interview questions. If anybody asks you how the redo log file writes the data, it writes in the circular motions. So means if the data has been got full, then it will be gone to the archive log. So how this thing is happened? This thing has happened in every switch, in every 3 seconds, and if your redo log files got 1/3 full. See, this is your one redo log files. I have a 3 members. If this 1/3 got full, then it switched to the next redo log file. See, here it is a control file and here it is a data files. No, you can just consider it is as redo log file only. This is a redo log file and these three are redo log files. What will happen? This will write the data in the circular motion. When it's 1/3 got full, it switch it off to the next group. When it writes the data in here, it got full, then it's next to the jump to the next. What will happen when it got this third one got full? Then again it will go for here. What will be the what was the earlier which is happening, which is kept in the means group one? It will be archive in the archive log files. You can consider these as archive log files. So that files is stored on the archive log file. So hope this uh, process architectures will be clear for you all. Means 5 mandatory background process: SMON, PMON, log writer, DB writer, checkpoints, storage structures, data file, control files, and redo log files, and memory structure. Your SGA, in the SGA it's come as buffer cache, redo log buffer, shared pool. In the shared pool it come as a library cache and the dictionary cache. What is stored in the dictionary cache? In the dictionary cache it stored the user information to check its authentication. And what is stored in the library cache? In the library cache it stored a hash value. Why this hash value is stored on the library cache? It's stored on the library cache hash value so that our SQL statement should go for a soft parsing. What will happen if we'll go for the soft parsing? It will reduce our time, which will be improve our performance of the database. So I am just recapping what all are I discussed regarding the architecture to you all. So these all things are there. See, now I'll just show you the slide also so that it will be more clear for you all. So this select statement go for the syntax semantic check. First of all, what will happen? This user in the user process, it will be go for the particular authentication. Where the authentication information is stored? It is stored on the data dictionary cache. Once it is confirmed that specific users is authenticate, then it will be connected to the database with the help of listener. There is one more thing is there in the in this architecture, listener. Okay, I'll show you. Means any connection established on the database, it is established in the help of listener only. Okay, then the listener establish the connection. Now the connection established, it will check the particular select statement hash value is there on the library cache or not. If that hash value is there on the library cache, then it will go for the soft parsing and check that particular blocks are there in the buffer cache or not. If it is there in the buffer cache, give it to the user. If it is not there, then it will go for the check to the data files. Then what it will do from the data files, it will not pick up the blocks and directly give it to the user. It will pick up the blocks from the data files, first keep it in the database buffer cache, and then they will give it to the user, so that next time if the same user is going to ask for the same blocks, he will directly pick up that blocks from the database buffer cache. So this hope this architecture is clear for you all. This is the flow of the select statement, syntax, semantic checks, log writer, the process mandatory background process, DB writer, log writer, SMON, PMON, and the checkpoints. I have told you what the checkpoints means basic rules, why it is been come to the pictures. SMON, why the SMON in the Oracle architecture is important. PMON, why the PMON is come to the pictures. Recovery process, this is used for the recovering the and means automatic resolving all in the transactions. Remove any rows that are corresponding to the docked transaction, and this all the fundamental basic thing of the recovery process in the database. Archival, I have already told you. Copy the redo log file to the destination storage device. What is the destination storage device? It's archive destination. See here. Archival process. Here it is redo log file. What it will do? It will just put it all means the unchanged data into the archive log destination. Whatever the archive log destination we are mentioning in the database. And the other optional processes are M1, MMNL, MN, CJQ, QMNX. These are the optional background process. Now let's go to the another thing like logical and physical database structures. So in our database, what is come for the logical and physical? See, what is logical and physical? Physical, which you can touch, and logical, which is just a structure which you cannot touch. It's a basic thing. Okay. Now I will go to the database part. What is a logical and physical? Where your actual database is stored, and logical is your database. Inside the database there is tables. Inside the database there is a table space, and then the table space there is a segment, there is a block. Okay, the data which is stored on the database is in the actual block. Okay, segment, what is a segment? Segment is nothing but a tables. Okay, the tables in the database you can call as a segments, and the segment, the tables is stored in where? I have told you earlier, it's stored on the table space. So database, table space, schema is a particular area is assigned to a specific users on the Oracle database. So the table space, schema, extend are the logical database structure. Data files and OS block are the physical in the slide. I have given the example. So in the users table space, we have how many data files? We have 2 data files. Data file 1 and data file 2. Table space consists one data files. It can consist 3 data files. It can consist 4 data files. How much size you want your data table space should be? You can include your data files. I'll just make you clear. There are 2 different type of table space also that call as big file table space. And big file table space, your data files capability is 32 GB, whereas on big file it is 32 TB, and small file it is 32 GB. So your data files, each data file size should be 32. Means you can keep your data file size maximum to 32 GB, not more than that. So what are the important table space in our database? System and sysocs. System is a very important, means there are the default table spaces there in the database called system, sysocs, undo, user, and temp. Okay, I will just tell you the brief about the system, sysocs, undo, and temp, and user. User, where your actual data is data is going to be stored for the user of any of the user you are going to be created. And the temp is a temporary table space which is used for a sorting and merging purpose. Undo, that is the same which I told you, the pre-image data, all the change data stored on the undo table space. And then system. System is a very important table space in our database. Very important table space in our data is system table space. System table space is stored the data dictionary of the tables. The actual data dictionary of the tables is stored on the system table space. And what is the sysocs? Sysocs is nothing but an auxiliary table space which is used for a means there are the different tools in the Oracle called OEM, Oracle Enterprise Managers, and means Enterprise Manager repositories. These are they when you are logging to that particular means repository, that will occupy some sysocs table space. So during that time, the sysocs table space are come to the picture. See, this is the means example of the segment, extent, and the data blocks. What is a segment? I told you, you can consider segment as a table. Okay, segment is a nothing but a continuous allocation of extent. If someone asks you in the interview what is a segment, so you can just imagine this picture which I have shared you in front of your screen. Data block, extent, and segment. So if someone asks what is a segment, you can say segment is a continuous allocation of extent. What is a segment? Segment is a continuous allocation of extent. Then someone will tell you what is then and what is extent. Extent is a continuous allocation of data block. What is extent? Extent is a continuous allocation of data block. So when see, you can see there is a means two extent is mean in extent there is a two boxes there. When there are 2 to 3 boxes of extent mixed up together, they perform the segments. So you can say as a continuous allocation of extent called as segments. Now I have already tell you about the table space. Now let me show you the practical example about the table space, so it will be more clear for you all. See, if you wanted to see in the basic SQL, I have told you, if you wanted to see any columns of your particular tables, you can describe that column. So now I wanted to see the column of table space.
Sorry for interruption, Sakil. Can you please write in the top of the window, because we are not able to see your query.
Really? Just a minute. I'll just minimize it.
Or what you can do, you can clear the screen and go to the top and write there.
No, but this SQL statement is come below only. It will not come up. I'll just minimize it.
Okay.
Even if I will clear the screen, just I will minimize. Give me 2 minutes. Now it's visible for you all.
Yes, it was better. Again, you did something. Yes, now it is better, Sakil.
Okay. See, in this I have sysocs, undo, and system. Yeah, why? Because it was showing I just only execute the use table space. So these are the table space which is used. Now I will show you all table space details. Select. This is the table space number, TS number. This is the table space name. Name, comma, TS has, $, table space. See, we have this many table space. Now I'll just put distinct to remove the repetitive words. See, these are the table space where Oracle have sysocs, undo, temp, user, and system. Now these are the default table space. I have already explained you about what are the basic things of this particular table space. Means if you're going to create any user, and if you're not going to give that user any table space, then that user will be created on this default user table space. This default user table space which you have, that user will be going to be created on there. Now again we'll go back to the slides. See here. Now in the table space also we have a table space management. Space management in the table space. The space management on the table space were derived by the two space management that was called as locally managed table space and dictionary managed table space. Okay. So the locally managed table space is a free extent and the manage in the table space, and dictionary managed table space is a free extent managed by data dictionary. Okay, what are the data dictionary table spaces? There are managed by a dictionary managed table space. So these are the two manage two space management in the table space. Now this is the syntax of creating a table space. How we are going to create a table space on the database. See, I have told you we have a two type of table space: big file and small file. What is a capacity of a big file? Big file have a capacity of 32 TB. Means you can create or you can store the data till 32 TB on the big file table space, whereas the small file have 32 GB. So this is the syntax: create table space name, data files, and the size, whatever the size you are going to give. See here in the screen I have given you the actual size also what I have here. In the big file it occupied 32 TB, and in the small file table space 32 GB. Now I'll just create one table space for you all so that you will get more clear. See here how many table space we have. We have 5 table space: sysocs, undo, temp, user, and system. Now I will create one more table space called AMP. Create. First of all, let me check my data files location before creating a table space, because I need to give my data file name also. So now as a DBA, you can go directly and hit the command and create the table space. You need to first think logically. You need to think on all aspects, because you are a DBA, you are responsible for the database. And database is not a small thing. Means you are responsible for a huge data. Means if any small things happen and your production database crash, then will be a loss of millions and billions. You can't even pay, or you can't even think there will be loss of so many things. So now I'm going to create a table space. So being a good DBA, I will not create a table space directly. What I will do, first I will see my data file locations. See, my data file location is U02. Now next what I will do, now next I will see whether my U02 have a space. So I'll see how many space I have in U02. See, in the U02 I have available space 6 GB. So if I have available space of 6 GB, and if I'm going to create a table space of 32 GB, will it work? It will not work. It will give you error. Okay, so you have a space of 6.5 GB. So to just make you understand, I'll just create a table space of only 2 GB size. Create table space name, data file location. Now I will give my data file name amp01.dbf. dbf is a extension of your data files in your database. Now you will give a size. What I will give size 2 GB. I'll give auto extend on. Why I will give auto extend on? So that in each block, whenever it's got full, because the data is allocated in the form of block. If in the block 1 GB is occupied, then it can be go for the another 1 GB automatically. So that's why I put as auto extend on. I have created my table space now. AMP. So in this same way, you can also resize your data files if you don't have a space, and you can also add a data files in your table space if you want more space on the table space. I'll just show you. Okay, fine. It is going to take time. Let it create. Till then, we'll go for the slides. Back to slides. Okay. I guess my slide got hang. Fine, no issue. So means we'll go for the same thing. Now I'll tell you, means after this we are going to for the next chapter called as user, means after table space we are going for the next is called as means user management. In the user management, we are going to create a users, assign the roles to the users, and also we'll try to give some privileges to the users and try to revoke the privileges from the users. So that is come under the user management. Hope this table space management is clear for you all. I have shown you how to create a table space. Now let's go for our next topic is called user management. In user management, we will going to understand how to create a user and how to assign a privileges to the user. So to create a users means see to if we'll have a if any new employee come into the organization, and in the database they told us you okay fine, this XYZ person has come into our organization, just joined recently, please create an ID for this guy. So what you will do, you just going to execute the command called create username identified by password. Password is a specific password which you are going to give to particular user. So this is the command you are going to create for creating a user. Now privileges. Now particular user which is come, your management tool, this user are only authorized to see the tables, not to do anything on the table, not to do insert on the tables, not to do update on the tables, not even try to delete the tables or not to alter the tables, just only see the tables. So what you're going to do, you're going to give that particular user select privileges. You will going to give select means grant. I just told you the means in my earlier chapter in the basic SQL TCL, grant and revoke. Who all are joined the earlier session, they knows very well grant and revoke on the TCL. So here this TCL will work. See here. So if you're going to grant the privileges means only to view the tables, so you're going to give a select privileges to particular user. So and if you wanted, if that particular user can insert, then you can give a insert to that particular user. You can also change the password if you have put the password 123 and then you are going to change the password to XYZ. You can change the password by using alter user identified by use password name. Now I will just show you the practicals. See here, Jamil, by my command, are you able to see? Can you just give me the confirmation so that it will be?
Yes, but actually it's not so much lighting up. It's a very dim. But no problem. While you are typing, if you are reading the command, we are okay with that.
Okay, fine. See, the means I have created the tables called AMP. See here. Now I'll show you. By $v table space, you can see the table space name which you have created. See here. Earlier it was not AMP. Now I have created table space called AMP. Now AMP is visible for me. Now I have told you about the user creations. So the user creations, how you're going to create a user? Create user AMP. I'm just giving an example. AMP identified by AMP123. Okay, fine. This is my 12C database. So in the 12C database, we have a container. So in the container, I am there in the root container. So that's why I'm not able to create a user over here. I'll just show you. So this is the another add-on advantage for you all to understand the 12C container database. See, this my means in the from the 12C onward there was a container database introduced. So in my example I'm using the same container database only. So in the container database you cannot create or you cannot create a user or alter a user outside the root container. You need to create by inside the pluggable database. See, this is my pluggable database. I'll just take the name. See, I have a pluggable database name called SAMA1, SAMA2, SAMA3 and SAMA4. Now we will also see whether my pluggable database is open mode or not. Yeah, open underscore mode. So I have my SAMA1 as a read write mode. Now I will go inside the SAMA1.
Shakil, can you please read the query because we are not able to read the text what you are typing.
It's alter session set container command to go inside the container database. From 12C onwards, Oracle has introduced a container database. Actually, so that you cannot execute a command outside the container database as a root container. You need to execute inside the container database. So now I'm logging to the container database. So to log into the container database, you need to execute a command alter session set container equal to your container database name. So now I'm executing command alter session set container. See, now I am inside the container database. Now what the command I am executing earlier, I got an error. Now I will create again. Create user AMP identified by AMP123. See, you can see here my user AMP got created. To check the user, you can execute a command username from pv underscore users. So you can see here. Now I have told you, if I have created a user, create user AMP identified by password. I have not given any default table space. If I want this AMP to be created any specific table space which our database has means we have created for the particular user, then we can give as create user AMP identified by password default table space name. Now what I have told you about earlier in my table space management chapter, that if I will going to create a user and I will not define a table space, then it will going to create on a default table space called user table space. Now we will see what is AMP stored on where. My spelling mistake for default. See, it's a container database. So in the container database, it's store the default users on the system table space. But if it is a normal means database, it will store on the user table space. So we are right now means working on the 12c container database. So in the container database, if you create any user without giving any table space, then it will be means created on the system table space. You can see here default table space written as system. However, the same I have told you means if I wanted to give someone grant, so I can give a grant as a grant means select any tables to AMP. Grant select any tables to see, I have given first connect comma resource. If you create any users in the database, you need to give two important privileges to the users by default. Connect comma resource. Connect is a role, Oracle inbuilt role to connect with the database, and resources is the specific some type of means privileges is given the resources which will be means useful for the particular user which we are going to create it, which we have created. So whenever you are going to create any user, you need to give a connect comma resource to any of the users to connect to the database, and the rest other means a select statement or insert statement you can give same way. uh, yeah, I'm done with the chapter user management and table space management. Hello, Jamil bhai.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm done with my session.
Okay, Sakil, thank you so much for your session. So now we will move to the question answer session. As of now, we have received some 4 questions where someone has asked that how many types of SQL statements do we have? So I just replied to him that DCL, DML, and other things, whatever you covered in the last session. But can you
Yeah.
please put more light on this?
See, if you will see actually, means actually we have 5 different type of SQL statement in our database. You can means I have already tell my in my last session as like DDL, data definition language, DML, data manipulation language, uh, DCL, data control language, TCL, transaction control language, and SCS, session control language. These are the 5 SQL statements there on the in the Oracle.
Okay, thank you, Shakil. I replied same thing, but I put the only shortcut. I mean the abbreviation DDL, DCL, TCL, DML, and DQL. Now, next question is, what does the data library cache?
Library cache I have already explained in my architecture. Library cache stored the hash value. Why it stored the hash value? So that whenever the next time any user connected to the database and it means ask for specific tables, then that specific table select statement will not go for a syntax and semantic check. Syntax and semantic check I have already explained. Means a syntax like select star from means you have missed from, that was called a syntax. Semantic objects means from employee, you need to pick give the specific employee. So this 2 checks is going to be happen, syntax and semantic check, and that after checking that thing, it is created one hash value for a specific statement and stored on the library cache. So on the library cache it stored the hash value. So means if you are a good DBA, means your all SQL statement hash value should be there. Performance and soft parsing is a good performance.
Okay, thank you, Shakil. The next question is, what is default checkpoint occur time? What is default checkpoint occurring time? I mean, default checkpoint is occurring in what the time slash?
Default checkpoint occurring
Time. Suppose the default checkpoint something is running, right? So what is the interval of the time? Question is, what is default checkpoint occur time?
see the see default value for that is 0. Okay, if it is if you can say means in the rack means there is a parameter called log underscore interval underscore checkpoints. Okay, so default for the log checkpoint is 0, and it can be a range from 2:31 till 1. So you need to specify the specific means their particular interval means whatever you want, but the default value is 0. And you can see here the parameter called log underscore checkpoint underscore interval. On that you can mention whatever the value you want.
Okay, Sakil, thank you. The last question is, someone is asking about data files, control files, and online redo log files storage are full. Then what will happen?
What will happen? It will means first of all, control file will not going to be get full. What is going to get full? Your data files. Also the redo log file is also not going to get full, because redo log file is writing in the circular motions, and whatever it is getting full, it's stored on their archive log destinations. Now in this case, what is getting full? The getting full is your data files. So but obvious, you are a good DBA. I have told you in my in the beginning session only, you should be a reactive and proactive. Means you should be a daily monitor your table space and your data files, whether it is going to be a get full or not. Because in real time in production environment, there is an alert mechanism which will give you the alert on your mail that your specific data files has got 90% full, your specific data got full 80% full, whatever the threshold you have kept. Once it is got full 80% or 90%, means you need to immediately add your data files. But yeah, your question happen if you get full. If you get full, your database will crash, and your database will get shut down.
Okay, thank you, Shakil. Now Muhammad Basar Nawaz is asking that what is hash value denotes?
Sorry.
hash value, what it denotes? You said now while
Sorry, I did not got your.
okay.
Yeah,
Zero,
it's
yeah.
number.
Yeah, no. Yes, related to that one. Meaning when someone is querying and second time same query is coming, so how database reacts?
Uh,
Hash value is getting
it
stored, right?
give a
Yeah.
it give a means unique number, means hash value, one number it's you going to give.
Just to make faster the query response, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think we have answered to him. Otherwise you can write to us jamil.nice@gmail.com. We will reply you back. Okay. Then Asadullah Ahmad is asking what is use of TCL command, transaction control language.
Sorry, your voice is breaking.
Asadullah Ahmad, he is asking about what is the use of TCL command. What is the use of TCL command? Are you able to hear me,
Hello,
Shakil?
Jamil bhai.
Okay, Shakil, let me repeat
I
the
don't know,
question
means
again.
your voice is breaking, but no issue, no issue. I guess you are asking about the TCL
Command.
commander.
Yes, use of TCL command.
See, the TCL is basically means used for a commit and rollback and save point. Means whenever you are means doing any update and it did the commit, means that will be a permanent changes to the database. And if you will do for the rollback, then means it will be means if you don't do the commit and you did the changes and you want you back to your older state, so you can execute the means rollback command. Okay, the rollback command restore the database to a last committed state. Okay, so these all are the three commands which is used in the TCL. Is called a commit command and the save point. So the commit command is used to permanently save any transaction into the database. Fine. And the rollback command, this command it is restore the database to last committed state. Fine. This might be clear for you all. Save point command is used to temporarily save the transaction so that you can roll back to that point whenever you require. Means you have created a save point, now you wanted to roll back to that save point, means now it is I'm just giving you the example. In the 10 p.m. you have created a save point, now the transaction is happening, archive log generating, now it's 11 p.m. Now you wanted to go back to that save points, now you can means go for that save point.
Okay,
Save point command is usually to temporarily save the transaction so that you required.
Thank you, Shakil. Now we have one last question that is from Farhan. He's asking what is the advantage of container in 12c?
You are telling last question, and okay, no issue. Advantage of what you said?
What is the
Sorry, your
advantage of
voice is
container
breaking,
in
Jamil bhai.
12c? You can open the Q&A window. You can
Okay.
read. Yeah. What is the advantage of container in 12c? 12c version.
See, in the 12c implemented as a pluggable database. In one container, there are multiple pluggable database can be stored. Okay, so how you can you can put there is only one. I mean normally there is only one database. So now in the 12c you can create a one container database. In that one container database, you can create a multiple pluggable database. Okay, so advantage for that is means in one container, in the root container, you can create a multiple pluggable databases.
Okay, Shakil. Shakil, are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I can hear
So I
you.
think we have done with the this Q&A session as well as your scheduled PPT and all whatever is scheduled for table space and your topics. So just we would like to pay special thanks to you for your, timing and effort, whatever, you shared during this time period. And inshallah, we will see in the next session as well. For concluding the session, I would like to invite Mr. Jamal to speak something about this.
Hello, Jamil bhai. Thank you so much. This is Jamal here. On behalf of AMP, I would like to thank Mr. Shakil for his precious time and this wonderful session that he is giving to us. This is basically a knowledge sharing session that we are running in the banner of AMP KSA. Thank you so much, participant, panelists, and all the organizers who make this happen for the session. We have a plan to continue this session in the next week. And then I would like to get a feedback from all of you. In case you have any feedback or any query or any question, you can write it to jamil.nice1@gmail.com. Okay. And one last thing I would like to tell you, because all of you who have attended this session, if you want to continue for the advanced stage or what are the topics you want to get covered in the DBA sessions, we'll be able to conduct a special session if it's required. I mean, it's based on the demand. So I prefer to have a feedback for this session, as well as if you have any topic, any special topic you want to know, then we can conduct a special session from. We'll request Shakil to do that. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. And if any one of you are interested or to contribute to the AMP platform for any of the technology or any other thing, you are most welcome. You can write to the same email address. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. So we are just concluding the session now. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jamal. And just I wanted to share one more update regarding to this next session. Again, we are having in the continuation of the same DBA on the same time. So please, everyone, try to maximize it. And if you have any query, you can write to jamil.nice@gmail.com, and you can log into your FB and search MP Association of Muslim Associations, and you can comment your on the live. Our MP admin, they shared they went live on the Facebook and Twitter. You can go and write there as well. And many of the people are asking about the recording. So I will check with the MP office. If they are comfortable, definitely we will share, because they are the one who is admin and they are recording the session, and they are the owner of this recording. I will check with them and I'll reply to you all. And meanwhile, if you really wish to take all this, you can go and write to the Association of Muslim page of Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want. You can give your honest feedback regarding all of us to improve. Even you can write personal email as well. Thank you all panelists, and especially Shakil, and all the attendees who joined and given your time. We are very thankful and very happy that we have seen your interest, and continuously 2 hours you stay with us and try to learn, and as we expected actually. Thank you so much. So now we are winding up the session, and see you in the next session on the same time. Thank you all.